Sarah Barrett from Chesham has a German-speaking husband, and so together they've brought up their family in a multiple language household. Knowing the importance of picking up languages at an early age, Sarah has set up Lingotastic, a mum and toddler group with a difference because it involves languages. Earlier on this week, I met Little Pickle's Kitchen, who do cookery classes and are very passionate about kids in the kitchen. Now I'm meeting you, passionate about languages. Again, pushing against an open door with me because I think languages are extremely important, not least because they have a way of, well, there's two things for me, and then you can correct me if you think I'm wrong. First, they open you to a particular view of the world and a particular view of culture. And the second is, from a mental gymnastics standpoint, they're really, really good at getting children to think differently. Have I got those right?
I think they're the main points. The fact that you're actually able to engage with another culture. For us, for our children, it was that they could talk to the grandparents and relatives, and they didn't have language as a barrier. And actually, mentally, it's great, especially for grown-ups. A lot of grown-ups say, I can't start a second language, but actually, there's current research saying things like, if you're learning a different language, it exercises your brain, so you're less likely to come down with something like Alzheimer's when you're older.
I've also seen current research that says if you learn a language, it makes you look 40 years younger, makes you extraordinarily charismatic and better looking.
Oh, wow. Do you think it worked?
I can't possibly quote where that came from, but it may have been, could possibly have been my own research. But of course, languages are beautiful, aren't they? I'm a linguist. I speak German, I speak French, I speak Italian, I speak a bit of Spanish. Languages are beautiful. They're how we communicate. They developed over hundreds of years. And for me, learning a language, that's part of it, really getting a sense of where we all come from.
I think what I find sometimes is some parents will have a second language or skills to speak a second language and don't have the confidence to pass it on to their children. And I feel that if they can't do that, the children are missing out on so much that parents could easily pass on. So actually a lot of what we do at our classes is actually just showing people it's not difficult. You can just sing, you can play, you can read, you can play with puppets. Yeah,
you've given me a puppet. Now this puppet here, she's pink and yellow, stripy. She looks slightly punky, I would say. She's got a sort of a big yellow quiff and she squeaks. What's her name?
Her name is May.
May, what does she teach?
She's our Mandarin puppet.
Oh, okay.
So she would come into the class. We'd start.
Does she do more than squeak? I mean,
she does. Well, we help her speak, really.
Okay.
Actually, can I just show you something else?
Here we go. Mate, don't eat my microphone, mate. She's very cute. Come back, Sarah. Where have you gone? What have you got?
We have also... I've got some rockets, so we start off our class and we blast off to whichever.
Oh, come get the rockets. Get the rockets. While you get the rockets, I'll ask my next question. Rummaging away in your bag there, I do like the fact that you're teaching languages. Oh, you haven't got the rockets. Oh, I was going to say, I like the fact that you're teaching languages with props. I remember doing quite a bit of reading about bilingual children at a time when I was with a French girl, actually. And I remember reading that if you start them on languages before the age of 5, they have a chance of being absolutely fluent in those languages. After that age, they can still be fluent, but it is harder. And often bilingual children, they especially if they've got two parents of different languages, they look like they're slower at school because they're mixing both languages. But actually, there's a point at around 7 or 8 years old where they accelerate on it. Is that what you've seen with your children?
Yeah. My teaching of my children has been a bit ad hoc, to be honest. That's one of the reasons I've started this up, because I couldn't find, when my 14-year-old was small, I couldn't find anyone around me who was doing this. So actually, we found it really tricky. Among other parents that are speaking languages, see the value of language learning. My younger children are doing amazing. They obviously speak German, but they've picked up some French, Spanish and Mandarin just from me singing, because I like to sing, so I just happen to sing the songs that I've been practising for the class.
And you've had toddlers groups and worked with children for many years. Of course, one of the things that has changed, when I think back to when I was at school, it was all about French and German. Then they started to teach Spanish a bit more. Now we're looking at Mandarin, we're looking at all manner of different languages where the world does its business, and children growing the understanding of those cultures and languages will help them in their working life when they come out of school and university.
Yeah, the main thing we're aiming to do is just get the children hearing different languages. So we actually work in blocks of 6 weeks of one language, and then we'll swap to another language. So actually, some parents find that a bit baffling, but actually it's just about them hearing different languages. I have a couple of lovely stories. There's a little girl. There was a little girl who'd been coming to our class a few months, and I got a text from her mum to say she heard a song in French on the radio, and this little girl was pre-verbal, so she couldn't say a lot, but she pointed at the radio and she went, blast off, ding dang dong. So she was indicating that it was like Frere Jacka and it was blast off, which is what we do at our classes.
Yeah, and what's the other story?
The other story was a little girl she's probably coming up for 2. She went to Germany with her parents, and while she was there, she picked up a cardboard tube and started to sing Guten Morgen, Guten Morgen, and went through the entire welcome song that we sing in the German classes. So she'd heard it was German, knew that song was in German, and brought it out. And obviously they're very small children with actually limited speech sometimes, but that doesn't matter because it's coming in anyway.
You threatened, you menaced me with possibly teaching me a song. How are we going to do that?
I could just get it. Depends what
I'm not singing out.
You're not singing?
No. By the way, I do have a linguist here, and your accent sounds to me like you are Bradford. Am I anywhere near?
I'm from Bradford, yeah, West Yorkshire.
There we go.
I've been down here a while.
Give me a song there. Give me a sheet.
I have either. You can choose from Chinese, French, Spanish, or German.
Let's do one that I don't speak. Chinese.
You'll have to. The only thing is you'll have to repeat it.
Because if I do French, that'd be cheating. Because I am actually for. Okay.
How I taught this on Saturday, I actually sung it and the children sung it back to me.
Okay.
Because it just repeats.
What's going through my mind right now is how to do this without losing listeners.
All right.
So, not because of your singing, but because of mine. So this is called Liang
Lenqin Laohu.
Can I just, before I even start, apologise to my Chinese listeners? Okay, because this is going to sound wrong. Liang Qi Lao Hu is 2 tigers. Okay, go on. So what do I do next?
Lenqin Laohu.
I'm not singing that. I'm just not singing that on air. Oh, it's Frere Jacka.
It is. So it goes. The English is 2 tigers running fast.
One without
ears, one without a tail. Very strange. But how it works, you can just repeat it. So the children just sing back what you're singing, and within about a minute, they're singing in Mandarin, which amazes them really.
Well, and of course, the thing with languages, it's all done by ear, and it's all done by watching. I know that my little boy, when he was at nursery, he had a Romanian teacher, and she taught them Romanian songs, and he recounted them absolutely perfectly. For young children, the sounds in this are gonna feel, I mean, I'm going to use the word foreign, aren't they? They're going to feel alien to what they're used to.
Yeah, actually, this is a CD I brought along. It's called A Little Mandarin. It's produced by a lovely lady in New York who sent me this to have a look at, and over 5 weeks I listened to this in the car along with my children, and we learnt those songs. So within 5 weeks, we'd learnt 4 songs, and then Eurotalk sent me an app, so I was able to play on the app. So by playing and singing, I learned enough Mandarin to do a Mandarin class on Saturday.
The reason I'm laughing, and I've run out of time to play this, but Nia's just put into my running order "Can't Speak French" by Girls Aloud. I might just play that after 1:30. I think it's great what you've done, and you are very self-taught, aren't you, Sarah?
Well, I did GCSE French, German, and Spanish at school. As you said, my husband is German, so that really encouraged me to keep going with my German. And my French and Spanish, I'm just topping up as I go along. And as I work a lot on Twitter with other teachers. I've got a beautiful, silly song about a cow called Lola, which I think was a Latin American teacher told me about that just via Twitter, and it's such a lovely song. So I actually work collaboratively with a lot of people who are able to share their ideas of what works for them, and I can share ideas back. So that's how I like to work.
You have a lot of punch. You are very, very determined, and that's why I think you're making a good fist of this business. How much does it cost if anyone wants to bring their children along?
My classes are £8 for a one-off class, or £7 if you book as a block. But actually, the first class is always a free trial, because I think it's a bit like Marmite is my class. People either get it and they run with it, or they think, what on earth is she on? Why are you trying to do this?
How busy are you?
I've currently got a class in Cheshire where I've got 8 children.
Good.
The other classes are slightly smaller because we're working around nap times and other things like that you have with small children.
What I've worked out from what you're saying, this is a good old-fashioned mum and toddlers club situation,
Yes.
but with the languages chucked in
Yes.
for good measure, and to create a sense of fun around languages rather than a sense of learning per se.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I do any teaching. Just as teaching, we just play. We have silly songs about boats and things like that, and as the children sing along, they pick up the language skills. And actually, singing is the best way to learn a language. There's just been a research article came out in the Guardian a few weeks back about the fact you're hearing grammar in context. You're hearing the accents and things like that. Because actually, I've been told, I don't know if you saw our YouTube video in Mandarin, somebody said that we got native accents. I'm thinking, but it's literally just singing and parroting. We've heard it.
And that's, of course, why to learn a language it's very important to go to that country, because you're surrounded by the language on billboards, on the radio, people talking around you, and you absorb it. And that's why I always say the best way to learn a language is to spend a couple of weeks there. Your lessons are where? They're in several sites.
We're in Chesham, Chorleywood and Gerrard's Cross at the moment.
Chesham Day today on my programme with the Cardiomyopathy Association as well. Your website, www.lingotastic.com. I'm going to do that again because I didn't do it very well. Lingotastic, so lingo and fantastic together, lingotastic.co.uk, and on that website details of your classes, also lots of other resources, language resources,
some language resources that are really helpful
for parents who want to get involved with it with their own children as well. I love featuring local businesses, especially those that have a lot of passion behind what they do, and I think there's no lack of passion in your business, so if you want to go along and enjoy language classes with your toddlers, I'm sure Sarah would be delighted to meet you in and around Chesham and the surrounding villages. It's been a pleasure to have you here at BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC